elements of mastery, self-talk, which is the subjective, the story we're telling ourselves. How accepting of the reality are we? Especially how accepting of reality and how it works. Or are we telling ourselves a story that's divorced from reality? The story you're authoring, that's the future you're writing. It's Travis Soda Wells, Pure Sound Daily Business. Peace. Talking about self-talk. Self-talk can only do three things: think, take action, and speak. What we think, what we say, what we do. And what we say is twofold, multifolded, really. But we just break it down with the two first of what we're saying and what we're listening to. And we go deeper into what we're saying and what we're thinking, what we're talking to ourselves in our head about. A little different than just thoughts. When we're talking about ourselves, when we're talking about what we're doing. I've been really focusing on something recently of having a lot to do, being busy. I think I've heard mostly when people use those two expressions. That's really what we're talking about. How do you express yourself? That's good. I might write that down. How do you express yourself with your self-talk? That's really what we're saying. And when we're talking about the concepts we have developed and how we express these concepts. And the concept of being busy, of having a lot to do. I hear that as a stressor. I almost hear it now as an excuse to be anxious, an excuse that someone's not going to get everything done, an excuse that I'm doing this, so you better be ready that you ain't on my list of things to do, kind of thing. You ain't being taken care of. I ain't got time for whatever you talking about. And I was having these thoughts, and then I caught myself doing it. However, I think I've inherited that from other people. So I stopped saying busy, I have a lot to do. I say I have a full day. I have a full day. It's going to be a fulfilling day. I have a full day. I'm going to get a lot done today. It's a day of accomplishment. We have a lot to get done. We have a lot to do. We're going to enjoy getting it done. We're going to celebrate our accomplishments, and we're going to learn from where we don't meet the mark. But either way, we win it. We stay moving forward. This is one example of very subtle ways we don't have good self-talk. And we can just check ourselves with knowing how our mind processes information. And that knowing we either have a unpleasant or a pleasant feeling, as well as a calm or an agitated feeling related to whatever concept, related to whatever idea, related to whatever thing, right? Whatever noun. Or verb for that matter, but whatever we doing. We have this, we either feel agitated about it, and we can throw in a lot of other words, right? Agitated, anxious, angry, embarrassed, overwhelmed. Doesn't have to be those words. I'm saying these are the words that come along with exasperated, tired. But I think that would then go in more. That's good. Because it's saying it's either calming or it agitates you. Now, agitate doesn't have to be a negative word. It can be pleasant, it can be unpleasant. Unpleasant doesn't have to be negative. As long as we're learning a lesson. And if you're on the path, if you're just getting on the path or you've been on the path, you know the real jewels come through the work. Come from being on the other side of working through mistakes and correcting yourself. So one reframe that we need to do is, if something is agitating as opposed to calming, that's just a sign that there's a lesson to be learned. And we're going to work through it. And now that agitation, this is where we can anticipate instead of getting anxious. We say, oh, I'm getting agitated. Oh, okay. There's a lesson to be learned. Let me anticipate that. I'm going to learn something. I'm going to level up. And before long, this too is going to be, I'm going to be calm again. So being agitated is only a momentary experience. Same with pleasant and unpleasantness. Oh, this is unpleasant. Okay, that's a sign that I need to be anticipating there's going to be a lesson to be learned. And on the other side of that lesson is going to be pleasantness. So this is how we flip it. But we got to understand all sorts of different words we have floating around in our minds. And we have different connections with all sorts of things, right? But the focus here is correcting, leveling up, purifying, washing dirty talk, washing a dirty mind. This is literally how the mind gets dirtied up. It's having bad self-talk, listening to dirty self-talk, bad self-talk, listening to people that just complain all the time. Complaining about people that ain't doing anything. Again, the lowest of the low-level activities. The highest level, the highest value activity is correcting yourself. Is getting an awareness of where your mind's dirty, where your self-talk isn't advancing you, isn't pushing you forward, and cleaning that up. Washing that self-talk up, washing your mind up, and changing that self-talk to self-supporting, self-talk that moves you forward. So are you getting an awareness of how you speak to yourself? You should be speaking to yourself to continue to move forward. Everything you say, think, and do should be moving you forward. Think about where you'll be in a week, in a month, in a year, if everything you thought, said, and did moved you closer to where you wanted to be. It's Travis Odewell. It's Pure Sound Daily Business. Peace.